Hello, everyone. Welcome to Much Review About Nothing. We are the vomiting emoji of the podcast world. On this podcast, we try to review a movie we haven't seen through cultural osmosis and what we can find on the internet. I'm your host, Billy Greer.
And we're your co-hosts, Luke Greer and
Jake Greer. So I guess we'll begin with introspection inspection. I don't really have anything right now.
I mean, we aren't perfect in every way.
Well, no, it's
feedback.
Just without people listening yet, because we're still in our early days. Yeah. We don't really have much content because this is supposed to be where you guys kind of step in as well. But I don't really have anything. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, I don't know by the time this is out, I don't know if it will have any fans or listeners, but I've recently been trying to promote it on social media, and no bites yet, but hopefully that'll change soon. That's all I have to announce. But our Twitter page is up and running, and we got the episode up.
Well, I have gotten emails from our fans about what we can do to the show. Mainly, they want us to send money to Nigerian princes and give them money.
This is the level of humor you can expect from this podcast. Dated Nigerian prince jokes.
Well, actually, after being on YouTube for a little bit recently, I've gotten all into the scams and things like that, the scam videos where people troll the scammers, basically.
Oh, yeah.
But one thing I wanted to say is that we're unsure about where else to put our podcast. And unless there's demand for it in the future, we're not going to do YouTube right now.
I can tell you can put the podcast in the trash.
I thought that's what you were going to say. Like, our fans are emailing us to tell us to stop the podcast.
No, I was making a Nigerian prince meme joke.
Okay.
But anyways, we can go on to the main section of this movie. And
what is the movie? We've been keeping you in suspense. We haven't even told you what movie we're doing.
Yeah.
Right. So this movie, when it came out, just to give some background, this movie was panned terribly.
Yes.
Like, it was just ripped to shreds all over the internet, basically. Mm-hmm. But, recently, I've heard rumblings. I think we've all heard rumblings.
Yes.
That this movie is actually been, one, unjustly criticized, and two, kind of becoming kind of a cult classic at this point, or
Yeah, cult classic is what they call it.
Yeah.
I've heard the same thing.
It's where a small group of deluded fools think that something bad is good.
Well, I don't think it's the case.
It's a joke
for this one, because this one, I think it's good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen the movie,
right?
But from what I've been hearing, from what I've been seeing, I'm getting a good vibe. Because at the time, I was a part of the angry mob.
I thought the movie was going to destroy the world with all the recommended videos I kept getting about the movie. I was like, oh wow, this movie's going to end everything. But we're still here, so apparently, it was overblown, to say the least.
Yes. Did we want to reveal the movie now?
Yes. So the movie we're going to be watching, or I said every single time, the movie we're not going to be watching, but we're going to be watching the trailer for, is the Emoji Movie.
All right, let's watch the trailer.
We just finished watching the trailer, and I have to say, it's beautiful.
Simply beautiful.
A cinematic masterpiece.
Yeah, I can really see why it's coming up to being this cult classic, because it has a lot of themes and almost comments about our society as a whole, and how we almost have a caste system where we're cast into these roles, and we have to fulfill those roles, or else we'll be shunned by society.
Yeah, it's kind of like cliques, even at that level.
Right.
Cogs in a machine.
Because the plot line is basically, there's this emoji, and he's supposed to be a meh, but he can do more than one face.
Right.
So he's an outcast.
He's special. In a way, he's got more power than everyone else. And I wonder if people fear him because of that. He has more emotions than everyone else, and so maybe they're jealous of what he can do.
Yeah, he has more emotions than everyone else, more expressive, more power. Did Ayn Rand write this movie?
I don't know. That's a good point. Kind of like
it's like an Atlas Shrugged, because he's like the the guy who finds the electricity while everyone else is making candles. You know.
What is that?
It's another one of Ayn Rand's classics.
Okay. So is this a cartoon remake of Atlas Shrugged? I was not expecting that, but maybe that is like what people are grabbing onto now. They're seeing the literary merits of it.
Right, because before they just thought it was a dumb kids movie, but now they're seeing the literary underlines of this thing. I'm sure there's like, if you look deeper, there might be tons of references to other things, other literary works that really just talk about the mind and our consciousness and society and all that.
In a way, the man emoji, he represents Nietzschean philosophies. He's the Superman. He creates his own morality. He creates his own rules, and everyone else in the emoji world, they follow slave morality. They do what they're told to do. They don't come out of the conformist box.
In a way, society has actually pressured him to change to become like them. So really,
that's what Nietzsche warned. That's how slave morality takes down the Superman. So there's like a lot of complex themes in here. I can see why only a certain number of individuals would like this movie, and I can now understand why it's getting a cult classic.
Yeah, I didn't know Nietzsche dealt with like sentient poop and the Just Dance video game, but I guess he was a little more varied than I thought. But
you really have to read between the lines with Nietzsche. Sometimes he has like really sophisticated poop inside of his works.
If you read his literary work of Thus Spoke Zarathustra, people don't understand that book to this day. But if you read it, it makes references to emojis and everything and all that. It was way ahead of its time.
Just kind of like the Emoji Movie itself was way ahead of its time.
Yeah.
I mean, a couple of years. It's only like, what?
2015?
2017.
2017.
So it was like 2 years ahead of its time,
Yeah. But I think we've really gotten down to the heart of Emoji Movie. Did we want to go on to
amazing articles? Yeah, let's investigate and see what people are saying. This time, a lot of kind of like, not really articles, just things I found across the internet. I do have a few articles to reference, but I found this post here on reddit.com. It says, Emoji Movie is misunderstood masterpiece. Now, the tragic thing about this is it's been deleted. So I have no clue what his or her argument was. It's like somebody was trying to destroy the evidence.
In a way, the Emoji Movie and those around the Emoji Movie are a reflection of themselves. So in the Emoji Movie, Gene, who's the main emoji, is like shunned for being different and having different opinions. And in real life, if you like the Emoji Movie during that time,
you are
shunned for your opinions. So in a way, the Emoji Movie was also making a parallel. It knew what it was doing. It made a parallel between real life and the movie itself. It was just this great through line almost.
It's the slave trying to bring down the Superman, even now.
Oh, good grief. So the Emoji Movie is commenting on those that like Emoji Movie.
Exactly. Yeah, that's how thought out this is.
This is like fourth dimensional thinking. There's got to be some pros in here. So like the Emoji Movie references Ayn Rand and Nietzsche.
Right.
These two philosophers.
But
is Ayn Rand a philosopher?
Yes, she is.
She's more of a philosopher mixed with a writer.
However, she does share a lot of similar tropes with Nietzsche. Kind of the whole superhuman, making your own morality, intelligence, and all that. It wouldn't surprise me if the writers
I don't know how to spell Nietzsche.
Are well versed in their political philosophy.
So Ayn Rand and Nietzsche parallels.
Right, and influences.
And also how it so adroitly comments on our society, I guess.
Right,
is another.
And even further than that, how it comments on the reaction to itself, basically.
Yes, that's what I meant.
Because society must silence dissenters, like this deleted article shows.
Yeah,
it was trying not to conform, to be itself, its own original thing, and it was crushed under the heel of society.
Well, like something I've noticed is that every so often, society needs like a punching bag, a scapegoat. You know, I remember when I was younger, it was Justin Bieber. You know, everyone was making jokes about him and attacking him. You know, maybe there's something there we missed, or like, you know, Nickelback, or, you know, there's always these targets that society needs. And maybe the Emoji Movie was just playing that role and it wasn't allowed to, you know.
Well, you see, the ugly truth about society is that it can only function if it has something to hate.
Yes. And
but
then,
it was playing that role, but it was commenting on playing the role itself.
yes. So it just keeps getting deeper.
In a way,
It
it's genius.
outsmarted them.
In the end, yes.
Exactly.
So, yeah, well, I just want to go over some of the comments here on Reddit under that post. And someone says, "You sound like I was when I thought Twilight was an amazingly sarcastic satire of the teen romance genre." Which, well, that's another one. Twilight.
Everyone hates Twilight, and for what reason?
And
I don't know.
maybe he's right. Maybe it is, you know, what do you say?
Yeah, maybe it really is a satire of the teen romance genre.
Right, it could be satire.
And I never thought about it that way, but it kind of is in a way.
You know, maybe that one didn't get a cult classic following. I mean, it had some
It barely
following.
got a following. A few fangirls on the internet. That was pretty much it.
Yeah.
I don't think really people realized what it was trying to do. Maybe it was a little bit too. Its intent was a bit too hidden because
It was so good at being a parody that people took it literally.
right.
These movies are trying to save us, yet at the same time we shun them.
And someone in response to that said, "Oh, when I thought that Ready Player One was a satire on nostalgia culture rather than the musings of a hack who just really likes the 80s." And I only really wanted to bring this one up because I wanted to voice this opinion I've had. Because I see that a lot of people, when they refer to Ready Player One, they think it's just, you know, nostalgia bait. It's like, oh, we reference this. Or, oh, they say that I'm like, it's remember that, the movie? You remember? But my problem with that is it's a video game. You know, it's like a MMORPG. And when people play those kind of games, all you have to do is like look at what VR Chat and Second Life.
Right.
That's all people do is reference things in real life, you know, fiction, movies, books that they like. So why are people penalizing media for depicting how when people play video games they reference things they like? That's what I don't understand.
Because they don't want to believe. Because that's all cringy to them and everything like that. But it shows them a mirror and says, "This is what you are." But they don't want to see that. They want, no, that's only what Hollywood thinks. It's not us.
Yeah, but why is referencing things necessarily bad, especially in this context when referencing makes sense? Because it's what we do in real life. Am I wrong? You
Right,
know,
but they think that it's being cynical with its referencing. They view the movie as a separate entity rather than a video game movie, essentially, if that makes sense.
I guess so, but to me, it makes sense. I mean, I guess it is a little hung up on the 80s, but that's when a lot of our major culture came from, and it's not just 80s.
And if Hollywood is anything to go by, they can't let it go with all the remakes from the 80s.
Yeah, I mean, I just personally never had a problem with it, and I'll get off my soapbox now. Part of this was just me trying to broach that subject.
We are talking about the Emoji Movie, remember that.
Right,
Yes.
but it does kind of relate with its
It does.
with its almost where it's cynical if they do it, but it's okay if
we do it.
If we, the gamers who rise up, do it, you know. But
what's it, gang weed or whatever the crap.
Filthy Veronica.
Okay, so here's another article, and I thought this was interesting. The article's asking through its title, will Disney's Wreck-It Ralph 2 rip off the Emoji Movie? And I've had that thought whenever I saw the trailer of Wreck-It Ralph 2, because in that one they go on the internet and there's all these references to things and they jump from like site to site. So to me, Disney saw the writing on the wall. They saw how revolutionary Emoji Movie was and stole their plot line to use in the movie.
Yeah, this
Right.
is Disney we're talking about, you know? If they think an idea is good, it has to be good.
Yeah, no, like they stole Kimba the lion. You know, Disney has a history of this.
yeah, I watched a video on it recently. They stole Madagascar idea and made Wild. Remember?
Oh yeah, although that one's they're kind of on the fence about that because
Which
like
one?
I can't remember if the wild script, but I mean, you do it does show
it kind of relates. Like they had musings about the same time or a little bit before.
Yeah, so who knows? But yeah, these studios are definitely always stealing ideas from one another. There was something. So yeah, to me, this article is kind of two-faced as I read through it here. It says the Emoji Movie tried to include celebrity cameos such as Shakira as the Just Dance instructor. Although she tried to crack jokes, most of them came out flat. There doesn't seem to be heart or soul in these jokes. And, basically it tears apart the Emoji Movie. But then it switches to, like, Wreck-It Ralph 2, and it's like, the city Disney showcased, the internet city, is a more accurate version on how I envision the inner workings of the internet. However, much like the Emoji Movie, we get celebrity appearances in the form of Disney princesses, which was refreshing since we don't typically see the princesses in one setting, yet there they were on the big screen. So, like, this person is praising Wreck-It Ralph 2 for doing things that the Emoji Movie was brave enough to do. Disney has bought this person out,
Maybe that's why the Emoji Movie wasn't doing so well and all those negative videos came up. Disney was buying everyone off.
Who knows how many studios?
Well, if you think about society, Disney can do almost no wrong. So they don't even have to pay anybody. It's just when another studio does something, then it becomes wrong.
Yeah, Disney can make a movie about an Eskimo princess who clubs harp seals and everyone would love them.
Yeah, that's the thing that always that's always bothered me about Disney is no one holds their feet to the fire. Is it because they got us so early in our childhood? They set the hooks in so deep that we can't see the light anymore?
Right. In a way, this is what Emoji Movie is talking about. It's talking about the Disney and all that who have their hooks in society and who essentially influence society on what's okay and what's not okay. What's rated highly and what's not rated highly,
Yeah, it's like depends on the brand. If it's the brand I like,
We're like the people in the cave. We only see shadows.
Yes,
right.
Like Nietzsche
we're
said.
in the cave of Disney, and we see the shadows of all the things they stole when the genuine article
right there.
is just right outside the cave, which is the Emoji Movie.
Yes.
And he's shaped like a sun, so you know.
So really, it goes back to Plato's The Allegory of the Cave, doesn't it?
Yeah.
A little bit. Do we want to?
Plato, not Nietzsche. I said Nietzsche, but it's Plato. I guess we'll add Plato to the.
Yes, Plato. This is referencing.
So far, I haven't seen any cons.
No, there just really isn't any. Once you of course look deeper, there are no cons because it knew what it was doing.
Yeah. So
at least for now.
Should it be a pro about like had ideas that Disney wanted to?
Yeah,
if Disney's going to steal your ideas, that's a pro. That means you got onto something good.
We don't mean to offend our Disney overlords,
No.
but we're simply, commenting.
The Plato's cave, the allegory of Disney being the cave was just an allegory.
Exactly.
I wasn't being serious.
If Disney ever wanted to, sponsor us or anything like that, we're
more
than happy.
I'd not watch a movie for Disney.
Yeah, I would gladly do that as well.
They really can't pay us a movie tickets, can they? Or else it defeats the purpose of the podcast.
Yeah. Okay, so that was kind of the only major article, but this is something I found on a site called Quora.
Well, I mean, I hate to interrupt you, but I'm pretty sure there was much more articles praising the Emoji Movie, but like I said, they just
vanished. Yeah. Quora, I guess, is kind of like Yahoo Answers, and someone has asked, why is there so much hate for the Emoji Movie? And someone named Robert Anderson wrote 20 bullet points of why. And I think this will give us an insight into the mind of the people who couldn't see Emoji Movie's brilliance.
Right.
And I thought we'd go through at least some of these.
Yeah. Give us the good ones that we can really talk about, and potentially we may even change somebody's mind.
Yeah.
Because that's the whole conceit of this podcast, is that we change people's minds about movies. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that is our tagline, right? We're changing one mind about movies at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Building a new you.
Yeah. Okay, so here's all of Robert Anderson's points, 1 through 20.
Mr. Anderson.
He says, the sole purpose of the movie is to advertise smartphones and phone apps, made obvious by the blatant and shameless product placement for phone apps, such as the inclusions of music service Spotify.
I have a question. You have a movie about a phone.
Mm-hmm.
phones don't need any advertisement, really, either way. And you're not going to include the things that phones are usually used for?
Well, that was my question.
Wouldn't it be more odd if these things that were not on the phone?
Yeah, because like if you had, instead of Spotify, like Hearify, or instead of Candy Crush, Candy Smash, people be mocking it and saying, "Oh, they came out, they couldn't get the real thing."
Yeah, it would be against it. See, you can't. They couldn't win either way. Either they could be really realistic and get hate for selling out, or they could go non-realistic and they're like, "Oh, they didn't even bother to get those things."
Exactly.
I mean, what's wrong with meeting Spotify, with Candy Crush, and all that? Many famous cult classic movies have done that. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Nothing but product placement for Warner Brothers, Disney, and Paramount Entertainment. All their cartoon characters were everywhere. Food Fight, just nothing but yes,
the beloved classic.
All
Food
the
Fight.
advertisers. That's a cult classic too.
Yes.
And recently, the Lego Movie, nothing but Legos. Everyone loves it, but no, the Emoji Movie wants to do things about phones and famous apps at the time, but people are like, it's just corporate shilling.
Yeah, it's weird how sensitive we are about internet-based or kind of phone technology.
Right.
We have a different standard. It's weird. But moving on to number 2, poorly written and unfunny jokes that often take forever to finish. Well, subjective.
Comedy is subjective.
Yeah.
And 2, the Emoji Movie is not trying to be funny. It's trying to get you to think.
Yes, being funny is just an afterthought,
Right.
secondary. 3, the meh emojis sound like they don't want this film to exist either.
Well, that is their theme.
Yeah, to me, that just means they're doing their job. So
Right.
I don't
Good
understand.
or bad, depending on your societal perception.
Yeah, Robert Anderson, I don't understand your points. Number 4, Patrick Stewart voices the poop emoji. Apparently, Stewart himself said that his casting was meant to be a joke. Not really a reason why it's bad, just to comment. Okay?
Then why is it a point?
Well, he wrote it. I don't know.
It was 20 points of bad things, not 20 points of things I didn't like or understand.
Well, here's what...
Or 20 points of random bits.
We can't be too hard on it.
That's right.
We can't remember.
Yeah, he's still in the cave.
He's still in the cave watching the shadows.
And depending on where this was written, this was back when the hate against the Emoji Movie was big and at its peak. So like we said, we went along with it at the time until
it's easy to be swept up.
Yeah, it really is. So
we are at our core a social
we must
animal.
be as free thinkers.
Yes.
We must be forgiving.
We must be superhuman.
We must lead them out of the cave. Gently.
Exactly.
Okay, so 5. It wastes other talented actors, such as Late Late Show host James Corden, who voiced High Five in the film. So kind of just the Stewart thing again. 6. Predictable, formulaic plot that is based on overdone ideas, already seen many times in other animated movies, about a misunderstood character in a search for a way to please others at first, but eventually accepts himself/herself for who he/she is.
Oh, all right. I've officially given up on this person. The whole be yourself thing, once again, a classic archetype. Throughout the generations, same story being retold with different characters. Each one, amazing. I mean, how many Disney movies have we watched where it's the misunderstood character who just believes in himself? He takes hold of that Nietzschean ideal, becomes the Superman, becomes the creator of morality.
But as we've addressed, if Disney does it, it's okay.
If Disney does it, it's okay.
But once again, we love Disney, and we don't want to make them angry. Please do not send your stormtroopers after us.
Right. Don't send your goof troop, please.
Yes, the goof troop.
Yeah, the goof troop. They might have a cutesy name, but don't make them mad.
Yes, their war crimes are talked about in hushed whispers. 7. Jailbreak is a ripoff of Wild Style from the Lego Movie, personality and design-wise. She's also a ripoff of Olivia Sombra Calamar from Overwatch because she has a skull similar to Sombra's Calavera symbol on her beanie. Okay, well, I don't even...
Well, look, skulls one are pretty universal for punk.
Was Sombra even out at the time? Maybe she was.
And 2, this is again a comment about society in a way, and commenting maybe even on Wild Style itself as a direct reference, basically.
Yeah, it's kind of... Jailbreak is like the outsider character. She doesn't want to fit in intentionally. She's a rebel, but it's showing that the rebel archetype has become so commonplace. The girl with colored hair who wears dark clothes and is kind of gothic/punk.
Right.
It's showing how even our attempts to defy conformity turn into conformity. Because all these like rebellious girl characters all look the same.
And that's what the Emoji Movie, I think, is trying to say with its message. It's saying that watch out for false rebellion, false, diversification, all that. And that's what Jailbreak represents.
Yes.
Well, it's also talking about how when something becomes so commonplace that it loses its meaning, essentially.
Number 8, Smiler is a very predictable villain. I guess the bad emoji
Right,
is the one.
smiling emoji.
It's always smiling. And her design has an uncanny valley feel to it, mainly because she's always smiles no matter what.
Exactly.
Once again, it's what you're supposed to do.
It's supposed to give you an unsettling feeling, because you know something's wrong, but you can't quite put your finger on it.
9, a chunk of the humans look like inside-out background character rejects. Okay, I don't know what to say about that.
How does he know what one looks like if they're rejects, if he's never seen one?
I don't know.
We're back to the subjective, though.
Yes. 10, awful innuendos, such as the elephant and dashing away emoji, made to represent that the elephant is farting, which we saw that in the trailer, and I couldn't stop laughing for like 30 minutes, so I don't know what this guy's talking about. What's funny is funny.
You know what one of the oldest jokes we have is? It's a fart joke.
Yes.
I mean, think about that.
Once again, it goes all the way back.
So, timeless humor?
Timeless humor,
yeah.
Okay.
Makes a reference to the first joke ever by mankind.
Well, one of the first recorded.
One of the first recorded.
About a wife farting on a husband.
See, we laughed.
Yeah.
It's still good after all these thousands of years.
Okay, so 11. If the movie had come out in 2015, it would have made a lot more sense, as emojis were more popular back then. However, in 2017, emojis aren't really talked about that much, making this film even more pointless.
I see emojis everywhere.
Emojis are used by everyone.
Well, they're not talked about because they're commonplace, but that were they really that big in, I would say they have more appeal now or more use now than back then, so I don't think the time, I don't think it mattered.
12, the film has flat characterization. All the characters have this flaw, especially Gene's parents, who mistreat him for not being a emoji. Which, that part's the point of the movie. They're mistreated.
Yeah.
If he wasn't mistreated, he would have no reason to break out.
Yeah, and with the flat characterizations, maybe not flat, maybe...
We're supposed to project ourselves on the character. Their struggle is our struggle.
Yeah, they're intentionally simplistic so that,
We're supposed to experience what they're experiencing, which is super morality.
Right,
Yes.
but we're only supposed to project onto the hero. What these characters are is they're simplistic representations to simply make a point, basically.
Yeah, we're not supposed to think too much about them as like the points they're conveying.
Right.
The themes are more important. Okay, 13. Inappropriate moments for a movie for kids. There are a couple of scenes in which a character nearly utters the S word. Well, to me, this is, like we were saying, like, it's getting kids introduced to the crudeness of the real world. It's more mature. It's for a mature audience.
Right.
It's not dumbing it down.
I don't really think this film was marketed to a young audience. I think it was more marketed to intellectuals and young adults and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, it does both, but it's trying to get kids to think. That's the main thing.
Yeah, it's trying to get it's trying to get kids into philosophy.
It's kind of trying to undo the hooks that have gone into us from Disney in a way. That it's trying to undo some damage for these kids, basically.
Yeah, because Disney taught us if it's not, if it's for kids, it's got to be super sanitized and, everyone's got to be happy and singing songs. 14, aggressively childish writing, which he said this, over and over again. He's kind of repeating himself at this point. 15, false advertising. Despite the heavy marketing of the aforementioned poop emoji on posters and in the trailers, the character, voiced by Patrick Stewart, only gets a few lines and doesn't even have an important role in the movie whatsoever. Well,
first he was complaining
guarantee.
About him,
yeah,
and then now he's complaining that he wasn't in it enough.
These people, they're so blind. 16. The movie forgets completely about High Five subplot and focuses only on Gene. Well, Gene is the main character,
right?
So High Five is not as important. 17. Nonsensical characterization. More about the characterization. Every single character seems to express other emotions than the one that they have to do when they are used on the phone, almost making the entire plot pointless.
Well, in a way, that's kind of society, isn't it? That we're all supposed to be cast into our roles. But just a little bit, sometimes we break out of it just a little bit. There's always a flair of personality, but we're not as expressive as those who are
liberated.
Liberated.
In a way, we're like the birds in the gilded cage with the door open. We sometimes jump on the edge of the door. We look out, but then fear grips us and we go back inside.
Exactly.
18. The human story was barely even touched upon throughout the whole movie, essentially wasting a subplot that only comes off as a redundant afterthought.
We're just back to the main focus is on Gene. That was the whole point. And maybe it's kind of like with high five subplot not getting fulfilled. Maybe it's talking about life. Sometimes people's dreams and aspirations, they don't get fulfilled no matter what.
Not everyone's a leader.
Yes.
Well, just not everyone can be successful just due to luck or themselves. It just happens. That's life. It comments on life, really.
Okay, so we have comments
Success,
on reaction
really?
to itself, and we have comments on the cruel reality of life.
Yeah.
But and I was also thinking about like the humans, how they supposedly kind of fade into the background. He's saying that they're not really paid off. Like some people, you see them, and maybe they're in your life for a little bit, and you think they're important, but they don't turn out to be, and they kind of pass through your life. Once again, it's commenting on the little nuances and strange, little aspects of life.
Very realistic movie.
Exactly.
It really is. Once you dig deep into it, you gotta really dig and think about it.
You really gotta reach for that.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta. Sometimes
you have to want it. You have to reach for it.
You might have to make up a few things to get over there, but you're gonna get it.
To go out on a limb, I mean, make up a few things.
A leap
See if
of
they
faith.
stick.
Exactly.
This movie's all about expanding your mind. Let's see, where am I? 19. The movie portrays the teens as phone addicts that can't communicate with each other except by text messages, clearly depicting the problem of teenagers spending all day long glued to their phones.
Listen, I don't think that guy knows what he's talking about, all right?
Well, Luke, this is a podcast. The audience cannot see you scrolling on your phone. This is not a visual medium.
Well, I mean, that's just a small comment about phones, basically. It's making a little dig at people because everyone's addicted to their phones. I mean, it's just a fact.
At least we admit it.
Yes.
We don't lie to ourselves.
And maybe he has something there, but, most of his arguments are so flimsy. I wouldn't hang too much on it.
Yeah.
It seems to be his own personal opinion about everything. I don't like this character. This character didn't show up enough.
Yeah.
I didn't like the way this guy acted. People spend too much time on their phone. Did a grandpa get a hold of the computer, I wonder?
Well,
I don't know.
Think about it. Peak time to hate Emoji Movie. He's not looking deeper. He's not reaching at all. He's just got his hand close to his chest, and he's not doing any of that. So, we have to cut him just a little bit of slack. But he does seem like an overly critical and not trying. I guess that's his main fault, is that he's just not trying.
To understand. Yeah.
Right, trying to...
I mean,
I don't want to understand.
I appreciate his willingness to put his thoughts out there, but he's
Right.
still looking in the wrong places.
In a giant wall of text, yes.
Yes. 20, final thought here from Robert Anderson. The authors did an awful job at representing the characters' roles in the movie. Smiler is depicted as the villain, even though all she wanted to do was to protect the emojis world, while Gene, despite being the protagonist, was the one really responsible for all the troubles that happened in the movie. He even caused the death of many characters, such as the Trolls and the Just Dance girl, and almost caused the entire phone to have almost all its data deleted. Basically, the movie tries to force viewers to like the protagonist and to despise the villain without giving the usual proper characterization to them as a reason to do this. Well, holy crud, he's just opened up a whole new level of nuance that I didn't even know was in the movie.
That's amazing. Put that as a pro. 3-dimensional villain. A tragic villain.
Well, he was talking about how they're flat, and this shows me like they're not at all.
You think Smiley is bad, but she has her own agenda, her own reasons. I mean, how many movies does Disney make where, I'm the big bad guy and I'm going to hurt everybody? But here, layers. This Smiley has layers.
Well, think about what Gene is trying to do. Gene is willing to risk everything, his entire world, to become the same like them. Yes. He's willing to risk it all. He's willing to take on those risks, even if it means utter destruction of his life.
He is willing to do whatever it takes to be the next Ubermensch.
Well, no, actually, he's trying to relinquish his Ubermensch.
Yeah, he's trying to fit in.
He's trying to fit in, and to accomplish his goals, even if they are misguided, I would say, he's willing to sacrifice anything. His family, everyone in the world, just to accomplish that one goal.
Are you saying this is commendable, or are you commenting on the fact that most people are like that, and they're desperate to fit in.
Most people aren't like that.
Oh.
I mean, it's his goal, I think, is wrong. But the fact that he's willing to give up everything, to risk everything for his goal, I think that's commendable.
Well, it shows that he's kind of 3D too.
Right. And eventually he does come to grips with that. He doesn't need to be like everyone. And that's where his story arc goes. But we've found out he's willing to risk everything. So really, Smiley isn't necessarily the villain.
No, she just has her own goals.
She just wants to maintain the status quo, and she wants to. She's playing it safe, basically. She's one of the people who plays it safe, and there's nothing wrong with that per se, especially if you're trying to, save everyone's life essentially. But sometimes we have to take risks. It's like the same, two sides of the same coin.
And I was gonna say, like, as in life, villains and heroes are never clear cut. From Gene's perspective, Smiler may seem evil, but from Smiler's perspective, Gene is the evil one. Right. Gene is the villain.
And they both have commendable goals.
Yes.
From my point of view, Smiley is evil.
Well, then you are lost! All right, well, that's it for that. I think we've done more than enough amazing articles. So, I didn't know if... how are we doing this? Did we want to do, like, amazing articles and then... rando reviews and then facts and follies, because I still have facts and follies.
Let's do rando reviews.
Yeah, let's kind of break it up a little.
Okay, we'll start doing that from now on.
I think we did it with the Predator.
Yeah, we might make the new trend.
Now we have Morgan. And Morgan, he's with us. So here we go.
He's exited the cave.
Exactly. The Emoji Movie is Sony's animation's greatest masterpiece, putting films like Surf's Up and Hotel Transylvania to shame.
Oof.
This movie is absolutely amazing. The artistry in the animation, writing, acting, and music just shows how much of a carefully crafted, artistic, and glorious film this is.
He gets it. So we finally found someone who gets it. Robert Anderson did not get it, but...
There's a lot of people who get it, Billy. Don't worry.
Good. Okay.
The characters reflect real-life personalities. They are human and grounded to the point that they almost feel real. The plot is a story for the ages. Boom. Back to our point. He's just boom, boom, boom.
Man, he could do the reviews. He could be on the podcast.
Don't let me be on the podcast.
Okay. Well, I won't. I don't know who he is.
While I have no desire to spoil the plot for any potential viewers of this legendary piece of cinematography, I will say that it is gripping and immersive. When I initially walked out of the theater, I truly felt that I would see an emoji walking around. I felt as if I was part of the world.
Holy cow.
I feel that everyone, and I mean everyone, has to see this film at least once, because I do not think there will ever be another movie as amazing as this one. You have not truly lived until you have seen this. And we just, think about it, we got it from the trailer. He's experienced, man.
Yeah.
After this, we're gonna run downstairs, we're gonna watch the Emoji Movie, and we're gonna become even more enlightened than we are currently.
Yeah, like apparently it's so like mind-blowing. It opens your third eye and you'll see emojis walking around in front of you. Like spirits of guidance. So to me, that's a pro. It gives you little guides or
it expands your awareness in your mind, even more so than just being a thought experiment.
It elevates you to the spiritual plane.
Opens third eye. We'll do that as the
opens third eye. That's a good one.
When you die, you become an emoji.
Yeah. Maybe that's what the afterlife is. Being an emoji on someone's phone. I mean, we don't know.
Right, we don't.
Yeah.
So the world could be one giant simulation.
Yeah, maybe the whole world's a giant phone.
I'm scared.
What is happening? Oh.
We haven't even watched the movie. I'm afraid that if we do, we'll just vanish and our clothes will be there.
I know. I feel unmoored, as if my spirit is like, I don't
feel
know,
free.
Being liberated.
We have Aiden. Yes. A great kids film about a multi-expressant emoji named Gene. He unfortunately gets bullied by his peers, such as Crier. I don't know who that is.
Crier?
Crier.
Oh, Crier.
Crier.
Okay.
Is it Crier?
Yeah, Crier.
Okay,
like
Crier.
I like Crier better.
That's a weird word, excuse me. Crier. He deals with them, though, and tries to go pursue his dream of being an emoji anyway.
I mean, he is one.
Yeah,
so
so
I
he did it.
I think he's trying to be a normal emoji.
Okay, yeah.
When Gene freaks out while being scanned, he is labeled a virus. See, look at that. back to society. When he doesn't conform, he's labeled a virus or an enemy.
He must be destroyed. Send in the goof troop.
And a great adventure ensues. Great comedy, like when Gene looks at a clock to tell time, and it says, "My eyes are up here, pal." Had me rolling in my seat. That is a great joke, though.
It's so good.
It's nothing but comedy.
It's so funny it hurts. See, look, it's making Luke laugh. It's like he's dying. He's turning red, and he's...
It's not funny. I want to kill myself.
We need a moment.
We may need a moment. We'll just... So continuing.
Yes. Follow Gene and his friends, Wildstyle and James Corden, through this wacky adventure. No, don't. This review is not serious, and you should... yeah, I think that's about it, I have to say.
Okay, good. Got a lot of good thoughts there.
Yeah.
You know,
Lots that I agree with.
Yeah, he brought that hilarious joke to our attention.
Yeah, it was a good
You're
joke.
getting the giggles thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, the next person, we have Andrew. Spoiler alert, you've been warned. So back when I first finished this movie, I was truly amazed. I've probably seen this movie about 37 times by now.
Holy cow.
See, it's got him hooked.
So rewatchable.
Rewatchable.
That's a good mark of any movie.
The diversity and different feelings within the emojis is just incredible. It really made me think that the emojis had real personalities. The animation team really did a terrific job. The emojis look just like I imagined they would if they could talk and react. The movie even had some unexpected plot twists, like who Jailbreak really was. I was on the edge of my seat watching the end because it was so capturing. All in all, I say you should forget about all those bad reviews because they clearly cannot understand true art.
See? Yeah.
I rate the Emoji Movie 100 out of 10 emojis.
Good grief. Okay.
I would rate it higher, but I can't count higher than 100.
Okay, well, maybe he should work on that.
He focused all his time on philosophy and never on counting.
I guess so. Yeah,
He sacrificed for his craft.
yeah, some people just don't have a head for math, you know.
I know.
So we have Jackson. He says, "It was a fantastic movie, and that being said, it brought so much potential, and there was nothing that I could personally make better. The movie had so many inspirational scenes, and made me consider becoming an emoji myself. My friends and I dress up like emojis and then walk into church. Strangely enough, we get tons of surprised and weird looks. The coolest thing about the dressing up is that people often will come up to us and ask us why we do it. Our answer is that we are emojis." So this person has ascended.
Yeah, he's gone to the next level. He didn't just like watch it and understand it. He became it.
Exactly.
He walked into the old decaying religions, the old decaying Abrahamic religions, and stuck the middle finger and said, "This is true enlightenment."
Yes,
Exactly.
he found the one and true religion.
Emoji-ism.
Becoming an
Emoji-ism,
emoji.
yeah.
It's like Shintoism or Taoism, where your state of being, you're trying, or even Buddhism, where you're trying to reach the next state, or your state of being is trying to be
They
perfected.
found the lost island, and they ate those immortal mushrooms.
Yeah, okay. But as I was saying, you know, like maybe we're all emojis, or like we become emojis when we die, or the reality is actually a big phone. You know, this plays into that. Maybe that's their belief.
Right.
So the Emoji Movie isn't just a movie. It's a religion.
It's a religion.
It's a way of
So-
life.
It's an ideology. You can run your government from it.
Yeah, new religion / way of life.
Even existence.
In the old days,
Yeah.
people would write books, or go on preaching journeys. Now we make movies
Yeah,
to share our messages.
exactly. And as we saw earlier, that guy was seeing emojis when he left the theater. Maybe that's like the first step. That's kind of like certain religions, like you hear God speak to you, or you feel a great happiness or some kind of revelation. Maybe that's the emoji form of revelation. You see emojis and then you become one yourself.
Right.
Yeah. if that's all for rando reviews, we can move on to facts and follies.
Yes.
All right.
Are there any follies in this movie?
There were some, but, not even the best movie is perfect. Okay, so let's start with, facts, as always. We always start with facts, then move on to follies. The first one here that I really like, it says, on January 13th, 2018, Saudi Arabia lifted a 35-year ban on movie theaters. This was the first movie publicly shown in the country, the Emoji Movie. It played at a film festival in Jeddah as a double feature with Captain Underpants, the first epic movie. So, see, Saudi Arabia had banned movies for 35 years, but they could see the Emoji Movie was so important that they had to lift the ban.
Yeah, they lifted the ban for the Emoji. What does that say about it?
It says everything. And what's more, they paired it with the seminal intellectual classic Captain Underpants, the first epic movie. I mean, you can't get more highbrow than a man in his underpants wearing a blanket as a cape. I mean, you just can't. And then, according to T.J. Miller, he played Gene, and he's not working anymore for reasons I won't get into. This was the fastest produced animated movie in history.
And it still looks great.
Yeah, so I mean, it's impressive how they got all this quality working that quickly.
And you want to know what else? What a really good movie everyone loves was made in less than a year? Toy Story 2.
Yeah.
That was made in like 9 to 10 months.
And then they almost deleted all of it by accident. Art is made through adversity. If you have this super rushed, hectic schedule, you will get good art all the time, as we've discovered. Like what do we always say? First draft movies always turn out excellently. Yeah. Because you're not overthinking it. You're just letting the art flow out of you. So I'm going to give this pro for fastest produced movie. Because speed is what you want in movie production. You don't want,
if you slow
people
down,
toiling over it, with the sweat of their brow, blood, sweat, and tears. You want it out as fast as possible.
You want it like a shot.
Yeah.
In, out.
Yeah, so what was it? Okay, so fastest produced animated movie in history. Sorry, I'm writing it down.
Did we talk about, or did we have a pro that it single-handedly lifted the ban on movies?
Yes, okay, I should put that down.
You said Saudi Arabia, right?
Yeah.
How about we just replace the word con, which is pro 2 on the side?
I mean, we might have to.
Just cross out con up there, put pro 2s.
Okay, so moving on from there. In the Latin American Spanish version, the name of Jailbreak was changed to Lady Hacker. And I thought that was funny.
That's pretty cool, actually. Yeah. I almost like that than Jailbreak.
And I was thinking, there's something useful about naming characters like that. Lady Hacker. Why names? Why not just main character, villain? It would streamline things a lot, I think. I think they got something there.
Right. The problem with that is that, like we talked about, the villain is not who you think it is, or your perception is what determines the villain.
Well, that's true. Then maybe villain with a question mark, like villain could be the name, and then hero.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's the intellectual.
This is a great idea.
Ambiguity always points to intellectualism.
This isn't a stupid idea at all. Okay. Well. And this. Okay. Well, I just want to beef about this. It says, this is another piece of trivia, supposed trivia. It says, T.J. Miller and Anna Faris were part of Yogi Bear 2010's live-action cast. Okay, this is not trivia. Telling me two actors that were in the same movie is not trivia. I could find that out on myself. Why is this in the trivia? I hate this. They're always doing this.
Well, they need content for it.
I guess.
They can't. Remember, these are people who haven't looked within the movie itself to find all the interesting, like Nietzsche, like
so the surface level stuff.
Yeah, this is all surface level stuff.
Well, they do this every time.
See shadows.
It'd be like this movie, is a certain time length. That's not trivia. All right, well, let's move on to the follies. So, according to this, it's saying Jailbreak claims that all female emojis are programmed to be princesses or brides, and she tries to stand out by being a tomboy hacker. However, Jean's mother is a female meh emoji, and Smiler is a female smiley face emoji, and Angel emoji is also female. So I guess they're saying that there is more roles open on the phone than she thinks.
Right, but the statement made by a single character can be flawed.
That's true.
Yeah.
Her own perception. She doesn't
Right.
see that as choice, even though it is.
Right.
Yeah.
She doesn't see the other people because she's trapped in her own perception of because she. I think spoiler alerts. I do know this because she is a princess.
Yes. in
All
reality.
she can see is other princesses.
Yes.
She doesn't see anything else. See, that's how our lives work.
Mhm.
You know, once we get into our role, that's all we see.
Exactly.
We view it through that lens.
And it shows that she has not exited the cave,
Mhm.
even though it seems that she has.
Yes. Well, as we were talking about, by becoming this tomboy hacker archetype, she's just traded one stereotype for another, and she sees that as liberation, when in
Exactly.
fact it is not.
She's only moved to a different part of the cave.
Yes. Okay, and this will be the last one, and I think it's pretty important. It says, factual errors. Emojis are not removed when a phone is white, as they come standard on every phone. They should be in no danger of being deleted.
Well,
Because that's that's the main problem in the movie is they're afraid they're going to be deleted.
right. But if you, I'm going to bring up Wall-E.
Mhm.
Wall-E was a robot who, after many, many years, developed his own personality.
Mhm.
And when he got a new chip, his personality was overwritten.
Mm,
Same
so-
thing happens here. That an emoji would stay the same. They would still be on the phone, but they wouldn't be them. They wouldn't be developed or have their personalities, per se.
That's a good point. Well, I was thinking about it from a different standpoint, is that the things that we fear the most or think are the end of the world are in reality not a big deal or not as big as we thought they might be. So
That's a good point.
to them, the phone being
Yeah.
white seems like
They
the apocalypse.
just see everything dying around them, you know. That'd be
Yes.
absolutely horrifying if you walked outside and saw the trees melting and everything.
Yeah,
Right.
well, I mean, not a literal apocalypse, but they see it as something huge when in fact it's just, maybe a minor inconvenience. And that happens all the time in real life,
Yeah, you're late for an appointment or
Yes,
something.
it
and you're
seems
just
like the end of the world sometimes. But so that's all the follies, which, I didn't see any follies there.
Right. Not at all.
Okay, well.
Whew, it's a roller coaster ride.
Well, we have to go to Poppin' Parental Guide.
Oh, we have, okay.
We have to, because
This is going to be like 2 hours long.
Oh, we have a lot of stuff.
This is our longest one. I mean, technically, because we had that big thing in the middle. But.
right. So I can skim over it, but I don't know why people are calling this movie childish. Sex and nudity, severe.
Holy cow.
32 of 54 found this severe. I'll tell you why. There is some flirtatious interactions between Gene and Jailbreak. High fives butt is seen.
Oh my goodness. See, well, we're talking about how mature it is.
Wait, you want to know something about all that nudity? In certain cultures and stuff, nudity is seen as a form of purity.
Yeah, well, that goes into kind of the
Yeah.
religious aspect,
They have no shame, no
Yes.
need to hide their nakedness.
Well, that's why by becoming an emoji, we are in a way kind of embracing that purity and attempting to emulate it.
We are once
Right.
again in the garden.
Yes.
Right. Violence and gore, severe. 27 of 50
I was
found
not
this
expecting
severe.
this.
A picture of a noose is seen when Smiler is talking to Gene. Emojis are disintegrated by robots.
Good grief.
An
They were right
emoji
about the
is blasted
people
by
dying.
fire. Profanity, severe. An emoji is about to say the S word, but is cut off before he can say it. Alcohol, drugs, and smoking, severe. Some alcohol emojis are seen. The beer emoji is seen.
Okay, well,
Even his own presence causes fear in parents.
Frightening and intense scenes, severe. There is a
Good grief.
threat that all emojis will be deleted.
so is the highest marking or rating severe on this?
I think so,
Good
yeah.
grief, this is worse than the film Martyrs, that French film, or Saw, or Hostel, or
is
something.
this rated R?
No, I mean, they think about it. They were so smart. They have severe in all categories, but they managed to get a really low rating. I mean,
Yeah, it doesn't dumb it down for kids. It's something that adults can, understand and relate to. Have we already written down the maturity?
I don't
I
know,
would say
but
it's a very mature. It's mature, but doesn't overdo it.
it's deceptively mature or secretly mature. It's managed to get under the radar, but people have picked up on it.
Okay, well, I think we have got more than enough material here.
Right.
I guess we'll go into our reviews after I read off the pros and cons,
Yeah.
which, Okay. So, starting with the pros this time, because, ladies and gentlemen, our con section is blank.
We could not find a single flaw on their defense.
I know. Okay, so, pros. Ayn Rand, Nietzsche, Plato, this movie has parallels to all of them, or it's influenced by all of them. It comments on itself, the reactions to itself, as we stated earlier. It was worthy of being ripped off by Disney. Disney knows a good idea when it sees it. It knows how to make money. The humor is timeless, like the first recorded joke ever.
Right, yeah.
It comments on the cruel reality of life. It has 3-dimensional villains. And it will open your third eye and allow you to see emojis, apparently.
Enlightenment. You're into a higher plane.
I'm excited about that.
Of being.
Extremely rewatchable. At least 37 times. Which, if any movie could say that.
He might have already watched it even more times. Hey, he might not even be here. He might be in here with us as an emoji, looking at us and nodding his head.
I mean, who knows?
Approvingly.
It's worthy of the score 100 out of 10 emojis. And emojis are the highest, ranking.
Right.
The highest numerical system we have.
It is the fastest produced movie in history.
Right.
Which is always good.
Toy Stories, Majora's Mask, all made within less than a year.
And it lifted the movie ban in Saudi Arabia single-handedly. They were like, Godfather, Inception, all these classics and stuff. No, we don't want that. But then they saw the one movie they had to let in, and it opened the gates. And also, it's a brand new religion. Mm-hmm. It's a whole new way of life.
Emoji-ism.
You're going to be seeing it. People wearing emoji costumes, walking into your church, showing you the true way.
It's an entire way of existence.
Yeah. And it's also deceptively mature.
Yep, it's very deceptive.
That's always good.
Got underneath the ratings.
Yeah. So,
how do you score this movie?
I don't know. I mean, it's something else. I'll tell you what. Okay, so now that we've gone through the pros and the non-existent cons, let's all give our reviews. I think I know what we're going to do here.
Right. Well, I can't count further than 100, so I have to give it my highest number ever is 100.
Yeah, kind of like that guy from the review.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but I guess I do too. All of a sudden I can't count past 100 either. I don't know what it is. 100.
All right, you, Luke.
I give it 100. Like I said, can't count past it.
Yeah.
You only need 100.
Let's see what our average is.
Well, I wonder, could it be 100?
I've done something terribly wrong. I got 233.3 repeating.
So our average is 200. 0.3 repeating. Holy cow. That shouldn't even be possible. Okay, you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. The Emoji Movie deserves a 200, at least collectively from all three of us.
It's a 233 repeating.
Oh, 233?
Let me see. Yeah, 233.
Holy cow! Okay, 233.
0.3 repeating.
0.3. Okay, well, there's our old, repeating the decimal there.
So that's our score. Is 233.3 repeating.
I don't think there's ever been a movie in history that's gotten a score that high.
Listen, I want to bring up something.
It shouldn't even be possible. We should only get an average of 100. But Emoji Movie,
it broke math.
It broke math.
It's transcended math.
Well, they say that math is the language of the universe. Well, let's move beyond it. It's not bound by your laws of the universe.
Language of the gods.
Yes.
Okay, well, let's see what they gave in Rotten Tomatoes.
We don't need to. We already know what they gave.
No, we have to do it. It's just
what I'm saying is that Rotten Tomatoes is bought by Disney, which stole all their ideas.
Just clicked out of it. I had it all up, and then I clicked out of it. Okay, so Rotten Tomatoes gave it an 8%.
Right.
Have the critics been more wrong?
Remember, this was scored when it came out.
Well, that's true. It has improved over time.
Honestly, we almost can't consider these scores other than them ultimately being wrong, I would say, because 233.3 repeating is the obvious score for this movie.
I mean, the audience gave it 39%, so they were a little more generous.
They're
but even they were
closer.
There was a 3 in there, so it's similar to ours.
And I forgot to point out, but it did make like $250 million in the box office worldwide. So it made a good handful of money. And as we've already pointed out many times, if it makes money, it's good.
It's really good, yeah.
All right. Well, I don't have anything else to say except I'm going to go watch the Emoji Movie at least 37 times.
I'm gonna go get me an emoji costume.
38 times. We should really shoot for that.
So what emoji would you guys dress as once you convert to Emoji-ism?
The gun.
The gun.
Well, no, the gun doesn't
It's a
exist
squirt
anymore.
gun now.
A squirt gun filled with acid.
I think I'd just be the foot.
Probably the two blank shadows, and I'm like,
The blank shadows.
yeah, like, so it's two shadows.
Oh,
It
I
looks
see,
like
two
the other
heads.
guy's creeping on the other guy.
Or besides the foot, I'd be the weird moon with the like.
Oh yeah, the
smug-
moon.
I love the
smug,
moon. Never mind.
disturbing face.
I'm changing that to the moon.
So we're all gonna be the moon.
Yes.
I don't even know how to describe
It's
that.
the
face.
new moon.
It's like content, but it's also like sinister and smug. I don't know.
It's an
Why
animals,
wasn't he in the movie?
It's
I
an
know.
animals in nature. There's three. There's a sun. There's like, I think it's a moon, and then
Yeah,
there's
I
a
don't
bright
know.
moon and a dark moon. So we can be those three.
It just looks like a Thomas the Tank Engine head.
It really does. Anyways, we've got off of emojis.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's wrap up here. Like always, you can get a hold of us at our email, muchreviewan@gmail.com. Please give us your opinions. Let us know what you think about the show. We always want to hear from our fans. We want to get fans.
Yep.
You can
Please.
follow us at Twitter @muchreviewan. That's all lowercase. Follow us there. We're going to be uploading our episodes there too. We're on Podbean. We're on Spotify right now, and soon we'll hopefully be on iTunes.
We're like a third party movie video game. We're on every console.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Please leave us reviews. Rate us on iTunes. If
Good
it's
or
up.
bad.
Yeah,
Just
good or
rate
bad.
us. I don't
Yeah,
care.
rate us on Spotify if you can. I don't know how Spotify works. It's the first time I've ever been in contact with it or used it. Yeah, we don't care what you have to say. Just say something to us, please. We're desperate here. And I think that's about it, right,
Yep.
guys?
Yep.
Okay, well, this has been Billy Greer with Much Review About Nothing.
I've been Jake Greer.
And I've been Luke Greer.
Bye.
Bye.